Okay, so I wanted to go and explain about how computing works, the cybernetics, what are the foundations, and actually the foundations are pretty simple, and the reason many people think it's very complex because the explanations are not done properly. Okay, so the cybernetics computers are based on numbers. So it says digital. What is digital recording? That means that the recording, the sounds are based on digital, meaning one might think that the sound can be, uh, that each sound has some number to it, and that's pretty much about it's about correct. Or digital TV versus analog TV. Analog TV, one might think that it's analogous, meaning someone put a picture and got a projection of it. Let's say at the past when people were making in these 1800 movies, there were some film who could reflect and the light more or less extent, and that's how come that's analog. The TV is similar, a digital, every single color has its digits. So basically the computing, all the other stuff is based on digital, and we're going to go deep. What does mean digit? What the digit means, the number, the roots, not even the basis, but the roots of mathematics. What is mathematics? Mathematics is calculus, is part of the mathematics. And what is calculus? The calculus is how we define a unit and how we assign different uh, uh, different meanings of each unit. So for the simplest I could come up was, let's say, the caveman. Let's say there's two group of cavemen, this group of cavemen and the other group of cavemen, and let's assume they are not like pretty much people now is the same, like like apes. They just want to go kill each other instead of finding out what's the best way to do. Like even in the past, even more, like the whole globe was under these cavemen's service, but they were going killing each other like idiots instead of going to finding out how to explode and how to use the surroundings. But let's say they are collaborating, okay? So let's say these cavemen are good in getting apples, right? And let's say these cavemen are good at getting strawberries. And let's say they want to exchange strawberries and apples, since it's much more difficult to harvest strawberries as opposed to apples. So they say, if I give you one apple, one, do you know what one means? One unit. So number one. So that's how we came up with the definition of one, which has very deep meaning. And it says, I give you one apple, and this group of cavemen says, for one apple we will give you two strawberries. So how they were gonna exchange it? They could go and let's say there were 200, 300 people, and they wanted to exchange bunch of like this ball of apples. Either they could go do eyeballing, or if they wanted to go and exactly exchange two strawberries for one apple, so they have to go and count all the other stuff. Count how there were thousand or um, uh, maybe even tens of thousands of apples and strawberries to be exchanged. I don't think they did it. I don't know. I highly doubt. But we're gonna assume that cavemen were so smart and they could do it. Okay, and how they gonna do it? Okay, so the way for them to associate um, 1, 2, 3, 4 apples. First of all, how 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 came? It came because just accidentally we have 10 fingers. maybe not accidentally, because I think most of animals or they have 10 fingers, but so they said if I have one, it's one, two, so maybe they gave a name. So let's say for them to go and count thousands of apples, what they need to do, they need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 count, or they might have came up with a system that for the first like decimal system, right? So for the first 1, 2, let's say they could put this kind of wooden sticks. So for the one, it would associate with this one, for the two, this one, right? And if they needed to go over the decimal, they would put two. Let's say if I wanted to come up with a 29 apples, so it would go pick up this apple from the second row, right? And this one from the first row, if they were smart enough. Maybe some did. So the second row, they would say, look, they would mark here. They would say, look, I'm marking here is this one, right? This one and this one. Instead of counting like that. If they would go and become even more sophisticated, let's say they wanted to go 100 apple, let's say they wanted to have uh, like 829 apple. So they would pick up this one, right? And they would come say, look, so this is my third row is 808. Instead of putting 800 like wood sticks to come up with their hand, which is the kind of proxy or foundation. So this is the 829. So they would come up like that. Okay, so this is 100 times. Instead of putting 100, they would say this one, if we put one of these, it will be 100. If we put two of these, it will be 200, and so on and so forth. And that's how maybe the caveman would come up, okay? So basically, they would make a rows and put some sticks. This is 10, this is 2. Like I said, let's say 26 for the 2, the 10 numbers, right? They would come up with this and either use the other system or the other system. That's how cavemen might have done, okay? Okay, but now let's say cavemen say, we don't want to count on 10, meaning we don't want to count on both of our hands. We just want to use one of our hands and translate it into our decimal system. So they would do pretty much similar, and they would say, and they might just go ahead and count this, right? So they could put 5, then the second 5, and then put this stick. So it will be how it's hexamal or whatever system, 5 system. Our decimal is a 10 style system, and the 5 system will be hexamal, I think the 6. So similar. So you understand the whole meaning. Now let's think as if they got like really smarter. They said, oh, we don't want to deal with all these 5 sticks. We just want to do 2 sticks. We want to come up with 2 sticks, 1 or 2 sticks, right? And then we want to associate it, translate it to our fingers. So if we have 2 sticks, it's 0. We have like 1 or 2 sticks later. So there's different levels, right? So this is 7 levels. On the first level, if we have 2 sticks, it's 0. Second level, 2 sticks. The third level, so you already got the point. And they would associate with the 2 sticks. So if you think this is the foundation of the decimals, the binary means binary. What binary is, basically binary is as if, imagine we have 2 fingers instead of 10 fingers. That's what binary is. somewhat. Okay, I'm gonna explain. Like it depends how you mix and match too. Okay, so this didn't seem, and it doesn't. This is not reuse. This is not a binary, but that might be one of the options, and would be very inconvenient options. But let's say instead of our two fingers, the cavemen were doing proxy to each our finger, and then based on our fingers, the decimal system by a piece of stone and a piece of wood. And with the different combinations of piece of wood and piece of stone, they would associate uh, either one or our first finger, second, third, and then from there the higher decimal numbers. So in our example above, we already showed this. Um, for they could lay out like this, but if they were get really smarter, you can mix the stones and the wood. Let's say they are giving the meaning of the every single finger on our, like every single number on our decimal, by different combinations of a piece of a stone and piece of wood. So if we pick up just one stone, that stone will mean there's nothing. Meaning I'm gonna kill you if you don't give me your bowl of strawberries, right? It means I'm gonna give you zero, okay? And you're gonna give me all your strawberries. So here we show a piece of a stone and we say, give me all the strawberries or we're gonna kill. Okay, good. So we got the zero, right? We got the one. One means the piece of wood, meaning I'm gonna show you a piece of wood and you're gonna give me like maybe a handful of your strawberries. We're gonna exchange it. I'm gonna give you one apple, big apple, or maybe some watermelon, right? And then we give you a bunch of stuff. So this is one. If we mix the piece of wood on the left and a piece of stone on the right, we get number two. It will correspond to the first two fingers of our hand. And then you can see wood, wood, three, right? Wood, stone, stone, four, and so on and so forth. So this corresponds to our, you know, or it could be like this and it could be different, right? So this corresponds to our present binary calculation system. It doesn't mean this is the only way. This corresponds to our present calculation system because the scientists decided to do this way. It could be equally valid and nothing probably would have changed if instead of number two would be this one. And the bottom would be two, and then it everything would be changed, by the whole idea wouldn't be changed. It's not like it's something intrinsic. Intrinsic is the counting to our fingers, but binary system people came up with a choice. Okay, and the binary. Let me see how this compares to the binary system. So basically. Then you see that like here, this is our binary system we use. Based on this everything is based in what concerns to cybernetics, computer, digital, everything. So number four corresponds to a wood, right? And then two stones. Wood is number one, two stones are zero. Stone is given, actually zero, one, from my perspective, is not the true binary system. One and two is the true binary system, meaning if we are coming from decimal to binary, meaning two, it means one and two. Here, zero was not supposed to be, it wouldn't work as it works now, right? But technically, if we were to translate, the zero would be one and the one would be two. That would be the true binary, right? And then this, the beginning up to number nine, it's just that we could give any, like instead of two being one and zero, or two and one, one would be two, zero would be one, right? Or here one and one, meaning two and two. But right now we are making one zero and we are making a 2 1. It's binary 2. It doesn't matter. It has to be 2 1. I mean, this is binary 2 stone. And if any caveman during the history did these two combination, they would be the first one who did the cybernetics. Okay, and not the Robert Wiener. It's like the Columbus was not the first one who discovered America. Amerigo Vespucci discovered America, and that's how America is named. So if this is as valid of or any other combination as valid of a binary cybernetic system as one can. Okay, so basically now it's pretty intuitive. You mix up two symbols and you give these two symbols corresponding decimal number, right? Since we got used to decimal number, we translate it to decimal number up to 9. You mix up whatever you mix up. Then after 10, you combine. 10 is a 1 0. Right now we came up 9 is 1 0 0 1. Then right now we have to move this one to the other. Then we have to give another one. And then how this is built up, if it comes here all the way to 19, right? Then these numbers get transferred, and for the binary it goes like that. I'm gonna go now explain how what it translates into, right? But is binary the only system which could be proxy to translate into our decimal or any other system? Of course not. We could come up with trinary, right? Or we could come up with a four system. But okay, how binary became so? Because it was probably it was. I'm not like specialist or anything. I just understand how this stuff works and just want to explain to people so it will be easier for them to understand. Okay, so what it means? Okay, so let's say now when we have either 1 or 0, and then we can hook up electricity. If we punch the button and it gives only one, so if we punch one button, imagine how the Morse worked. It punch one, let's say it means A. If it punch 1 1, let's say it punch 2, it means B, and then we could translate everything on this digital. That's how digital is coming. Winning, technically caveman, but a piece of wood and stone or any other two different symbols could come up with every single number. Theoretically, and then with either giving access, giving uh, electricity, right? Giving circuit or blocking that circuit, you could come up with pretty much anything. That's how relays, but the computing machines came up, meaning you are assigning different numbers, and based on those, let's say we are giving number 555, the Latin letter A, and then we are giving 556 Latin letter B, right? And A, B, so we give all alphabet, we have numerical, digital alphabet, right? Every name, every letter has its name. Then from based on that, then we can come up with the word sentences. Right now, what we end up through digital, we can just write sentences, do word processing, and then all the other symbols are given other digital, other numbers, right? And now we want to work on a we want to like this color. What is this color? Okay, so many rose color, right? So there's billions of types of colors, but all those types of colors are mix up of three colors, right? And for a certain type of color, they give a number, let's say 1,000,001. I'm just giving you the idea, corresponds to the base red colors. So what is the red color? They got a quartz, and if you hit that quartz for certain voltage, it gives a pure red color. So you give a number, so when you punch that number goes to that quartz, it gives you a red number. If you mix up 20% of that red, a little bit green number, then it came up that. Or if you don't give anything, it come up with white number. So we came up with the colors. Then the same with the voice, digital voice. What is digital voice? Every single intonation of the voice has its number, right? And then the music you do with, and then you do pretty much everything based on numbers. You're just taking it. So so that's the foundation, and that's everything is based off. Okay, everything is based off either you have a like the Morse alphabet, tick 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 tick. It's I mean the principle on present day computing or the other stuff, or the binary digital computing. Okay, I'm gonna talk with other computing, but just a little bit not to confuse. It's based on that uh, combination of signal goes and signal doesn't go is given as is associated with number based on our 10 fingers, and every number is associated I mean every with other symbols, with colors on, with that's how the computing works. Okay, could it be like we are giving a signal, let's say a binary trinary? Instead of having put, we could put like, instead of combination of wood stone, we could come up with a, let's say, a ring or something. Yeah, it could. Why is not done? I don't know why it's not done. I mean, I can guess because you'll give a, you could do everything with binary. Why you want to complicate? Maybe that's why. But there's some analog computing may come. This is not the only way. This is just the prevailing way that things are done. Not to confuse you too much right now. I don't want to go into philosophical and talk about this quantum computing or the other stuff. If you understand this, then you can go watch these videos when people even don't understand how this works, but they don't understand how the basic works, or they understand and they assume you already know. If you already know the basic, you don't want to go like or this PBS series, the lady talks. Yeah, but this is the basic. If you know this, then you know how the computing works, and pretty much everything else on the earth now is based on computer, and you know how all that stuff works too.